Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
And I'm Scott Wakefield, host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham, where we talk about comic books and all kinds of great storytelling, sometimes with incredible guests. And we want you to join us Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Silverline's Wednesday Night Wham! Hosted by Scott Wakefield!
Thank you, sir. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. I never know how to follow that up. It's
Did anybody warn Barb before this happened?
We're done.
He's done it many times on ours, too.
Okay.
Everybody out there, hello, welcome. It is Wednesday, and you are watching Wednesday Night Wham from Silverline. Thank you for joining us. We got a great crew tonight. We'll get to the topic in just a second. Before I forget, all of our shows are brought to you by Daytona Beach Comic Con, and we thank them for supporting Silverline. We have a great announcement coming up, and I'm just going to keep teasing these little things, and we'll reveal that in just a second. And we've got a guest, Barb, joining us tonight, and we've got extra guests coming in the second half of the show after the midway point, and we have a review from Martin Piero. And big news coming up after we all say hello. So it is our custom to introduce ourselves. We'll just jump right into that, and then we'll roll into our topic. And we'll, of course, go way off topic like we do every Wednesday. But Barb, I'll let you go last, and so you can compose yourself and get ready to say hello. I'll go first so everybody can forget about me quickly. My name is Scott Wakefield. I'm the co-creator and co-writer of an upcoming Silverline title called Steam Patriots.
What was your name again?
What's that?
I forgot your name already.
Scott Wakefield.
Gotcha.
He says it first.
Scott Wakefield.
By now.
It sounds different, like 28 decibels lower.
Scott.
My name is Scott.
In fact, you should be able to hear it clearer now.
Yeah, because you got the new internet. It should come in.
New internet out here in the boondocks of Western. Oh yes, and Barb, we like to tell where we are. Oh, I like for them to tell where they are geographically, and everybody rolls.
He makes us say where we are.
Scott's
Address
big
is
into
on everything.
geocaching.
Yeah.
You gotta give your home address and everything.
Please, if we social security number, bank account information. I like everybody. Birthdays, first car, favorite teacher,
Favorite color, favorite movie. What are the other things?
Set up everybody for doxing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I also try to work on publicity for Silverline, and I try and fail most of the time. But if you have a podcast out there and you have a show, or you like to do reviews, and you're somehow connected to comic books or pop culture or science fiction or fantasy or something like that, we would love to chat. And if you want to review one of our titles, we would love for that, and we can maybe review one of yours, and we can all be independent creators together and help grow our indie world together. That is me. I'm going to go over to Tommy's over here on my screen, and then Haley, and then Tim. So go ahead, Tommy, say hello.
Hello, world. That was it. No, my name is Thomas Floramonte Jr. I've been a comic book creator since the early 90s. I've kind of worked for pretty much everybody, mostly inking, but I do penciling and coloring and writing and publishing, and I co-own the printing company Kablam, digital printing, and we print most of the Silverline stuff, plus countless other people's stuff. lots of stuff. But currently for Silverline, I am inking, or we got done. Actually, it's kind of interesting. We got a little bit, the Trunks book where we did the first book. We're actually got a little bit going on the second book. We had to shuffle around a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say much about it, but we are going to get working on the second book. So we'll get that one out. But currently right now I'm inking, and I have to write it down because I screw it up every single time.
Yes, you do.
The Silverline team up featuring Champion and Mist Fury, which is penciled by Mr. Pete over on the Sunday show, one of Barb's buddies on that show. And I'm also inking Rejects with Mr. C. Michael. Where's C. Michael? There he is. There's Mr. C. Michael, and I'll be doing some inking on that tonight. And I'm also helping Dean out on the Silverblade book, and then inking just a bunch of other stuff for everybody. Seems like just all kind of too much stuff. No sleep, lots of inking. And I also do my own comic stuff under the Inferno Studios line of books, all my Kid Hero stuff. Some of the stuff you see behind me, I like to do real fun everybody books that just I like to do cartoony stuff. So
can you do it well?
There you go. Yep. Thank you. Oh, I'm in Florida, by the way, Central Florida, where I think it topped high 70s today, so it was nice and warm. I think the flu vaccine is getting out to everybody in Florida really good. And what else is going on in Florida?
What's not going on in Florida?
Yeah, really. So anyway, I'll shut up. Okay,
it was
I'm done.
Beautiful 62 today in West.
Oh, that's nice, because it was snowing a week or two ago last show.
There were motorcycles out. Everybody's thinking, we call it false spring or fool's spring, right? Because it's snow again.
Because it's not really time for it to be warm yet, right? So it's like you go swimming.
All right. Next we got Haley, and then Tim, and then C. Go for it, Haley.
All right. So I'm Haley Martin. I'm not going to give you my social security number, but I will say that today's my birthday. So
I know
what better way to spend it?
Happy birthday.
Send me a message. I know her social security number. I'll give it to you.
Uh-oh. Been compromised. But yeah, so I do my own comic stuff. I have a comic about superhero summer camp that I do called Heroic Shenanigans. And then I'm working on the art for an upcoming Silverline comic called Bear. And I'm also in Florida.
All right.
Florida.
Happy birthday, Haley. Go for it, Tim.
I am Tim TK. I'm the associate editor at Silverline and the producer of the Wednesday Night Show. I'm also the writer / creator of upcoming title Wolf Hunter, World War II espionage action. And what else do I do here? I run the craft blog. I do the blog, and we do the craft series on it, and it's great. And
it is wonderful.
Yep. And I'm over here in brisk but sunny Oregon.
Very nice. Thank you. See, Michael, then Brent, and then Barb. You're two computers there. We know. Sorry.
Yeah. It's twitching on me already. Hey, I'm C. Michael Lanning. I'm an independent artist, currently working on the Rejects for Silverline. Also, some other things, including a Kickstarter going on now for Continuum Comics. Go check that out. Also, I co-anchor. Hold on. I co-anchor Weekended on Friday at 10 Central, where we talk about mainstream and indie comics, because to us, they're both the same. And also, I just got a co-anchoring gig on Geek Speak on Monday nights, where we will be interviewing comic book people and probably have some of your favorite Silverline people on there eventually too. So look for that. And that's Monday nights at 8 Central.
You are a man about town.
Tell me that.
That's exciting.
No time to draw. You're online too much.
I'm doing that too much too. So
once more, don't you kind of blaze past it. Turn your mic back on. Plug your current Kickstarter project right now.
It's called Enter the Continuum. It's over on Kickstarter. We got about a week left. Go check it out. I have a short story in there that I created with my Geek Speak co-anchor Meredith Lochran, who you might know from Ragin and other things like from Geek Insider. In fact, I think I might end up having 2 stories in there, so you might want to check that out.
Cool.
It's of course still on Kickstarter. Just look for End of the Continuum. You should be able to find it.
Very nice. Thank you, sir. Brent, then Barb.
Yes, hi. I am Brent Larson. I am in sunny Orlando, Florida. My social security number is 8.
8 is a really low number. Wow.
I get the feeling that he's serious.
And I am the
not
creator, writer of the Silverline book Kalis, which I just approved the last inked page of issue 4.
Ooh.
So
Can't wait to see it.
looking smoking. And also I am the writer creator of the upcoming Silverline book Cape Town, which I just saw pencils for the 2nd page, and it looks great.
Cool.
Yes, very nice.
Can't wait to see that too.
Thank you. And the illustrious and venerable and prolific and creative Barb. Say hello.
Hi, my name is Barb Kjellberg. I have been a comic book inker since 1989. I've worked for everybody. I am currently the CFO of Silverline Comics, so I keep an eye on the money. I'm inking Cat and Mouse. We're getting ready to start working on issue 4. I'm coloring Sirens, and I am the creator, co-writer, inker, and colorist on my own book, Divinity. And I've got 3 pages left, and I'll be done coloring, and I'll be done with issue number 2.
Yes, that's awesome, Barb. You started coloring when you were 4 years old?
I started coloring a year ago.
Are you inking when you were? I'm sorry, I didn't get the dates right. You were
1989. I started inking.
They let you start young. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
4.
I was 4.
Scott said.
That's right. I was a very young protege. Yes.
So prodigy. Yes. Hey, for those of you keeping track, if you were listening to all the titles that everybody listed off that they're working on, it's really, really awesome. And if you've been paying attention to Silverline, you know that Silverline kind of it was there and then was on the back burner for a while and back, and now this Silverline phase that we're in is really amazing with what has happened in just the last year, 18 months of all the work that has come about and the exponential growth in the number of creators and the number of titles that are out there. So if you head over to silverlinecomics.com, you can see the blog, the craft blog, the entries that Tim has put together, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff there about folks who write, folks who ink and color, and the creative process. And you can also see you can shop, and it'll link you over to indieplanet.com, and you can get every title, Tommy, except the last 2 that
No, they're all up now. I believe they're all up.
Every title that we've created is available on indieplanet.com. So go grab those. And but the big announcement that is going to happen this very evening, and if you've been watching our social media feed, you will have seen that 2 titles are going to be launched this evening on Kickstarter: Twilight Grim #2 and Friar Rush #2. And if you're new to all of this, we do 2 titles at a time, which I think it's going to have to sooner or later keep growing, but we do 2 titles at a time because we have so many great stories coming out, and we launch 2 at a time. So far it's been every other month, and so this go round is the next installments in 2 stories that were started a few months ago. And if you read those, you've got number 1 of each of those. It's very exciting to see the continuation of the story. And with crowdfunding, very often you are speculating when you back a project. You could be backing something that never happens. And that's not the case with Kickstarter. All of our titles are complete and ready. So what you're doing on Kickstarter is you are just pre-ordering your copy. and you have the potential, you have the option, and you have the option to get tons of extras. So later this evening, we're going to tell you when you're going to be able to go over there and grab Twilight Grim #2, Friar Rush #2, and all the extra goodies that come with it. A lot of exclusive stuff. It's really cool, and that's what's so awesome about the indie world is you get your hands on unique and one-of-a-kind stuff.
And
Tim?
Mickey was kind enough to send over the Friar Rush 2 cover, so we can actually debut that now.
Debut? Can you show it?
I can. It
Ooh,
is now
that's
being debuted. It's on.
Debut?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And every time you guys watch our show here, Wednesday or Sunday, you always get these little insider tidbits, and it's really cool. And that's why we consider you all our Silverline family. So that is coming up. Stay tuned, and we've got some more surprises on the show a little later. Okay, our topic. We really do have a topic tonight. We've been talking for 10 minutes already. We are going to try to just try. I say try because I honestly don't know how much I can contribute. I think Tim said he's ready to talk the whole time about the topic is card games. And that is not limited to that is not limited to the Pokemans or the Magics. But we can talk about card games like Pinochle and Euchre and poker and so forth.
I thought it was just card games. Just playing card games.
It's the whole. If it needs a card, I think, and maybe we need to delineate like where does the card game stop and the board game start. Like,
Well, that's the difference between like a game played with cards and then your typical TCG trading card game.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the cards with 52 playing cards, face cards, and then trading card games. All right. So that I'm glad every week we can we can narrow down our topics so well.
And
we guys spend an hour discussing a
not have any confusion.
On the Twitch chat, Brooke Van says none of this surprises me about Tim.
Tim is
follow
a
you
man
on Facebook.
Yeah.
many wonders. So why don't we start, Tommy? We can talk about typical card games with a deck of cards.
Okay, we'll do a magic trick. Start off with.
Go for it.
Do it.
Go for
All right,
it.
pick
I
a
want-
card.
I want that
Which
one.
you want?
That-
This one?
No. Don't you have to turn it around to?
Yeah.
You picked, let me guess, you picked 5 of diamonds.
Wow.
How does he do it?
I am.
My
so-
goodness.
I'm blown away.
Incredible.
He's guessing. He's
Incredible.
telling you picked 5 of diamonds.
Magic.
So, I recently, I am late to the game with poker, and recently in the last like 6 months started playing, and I have to still keep the list of hands.
Yes.
I do too.
Next-
Whenever people want to play, I have to pull it up on my phone. I don't
Yep.
remember.
because I can't remember.
I
and
don't. I'm terrible.
I'm terrible at it, and I'm glad I don't play with guys that like. There's 2 of them that are kind of serious, and they're usually the last 2, like battling it out till we're all going home. We're like, see you guys. But I play like, in my poker face has to be this
Smiling?
face. If I get a good card, I have to.
That's mine too.
I have to always be happy. So
I don't know what's worse, just playing with Mr. Rogers or playing with like the polar opposite, which is the guy dressed as the Unabomber.
yeah, the sunglasses and
The hoodie. Yeah. I could also talk people's ears off about poker back in my heathen days.
oh yes,
Yeah, we had a regular poker night at one of our residences, whereas the typical break out the scotch. Everyone had brought like their own form of cigar or smoking pipe. And one of my friends was the Unabomber guy, where he's just slouched down, sunglasses, and a hoodie just tied in up to his nose.
Did anybody else imagine this place has a Russian in the back with an Oreo tail? Yeah,
I have one once, and I think it's because they let me. I think they thought I was having a bad week, and they were being nice.
Ah.
They all deny it, but
It
there's
was
no
an
way.
accident.
There's no way I could have won. I'm terrible.
Oh.
I'm the worst.
Poker,
You really are, man.
poker is really weird.
I have
It's a game that is 65% random number generation. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, in the first hand, I got a straight flush, right? That's what it's all the same.
Straight, they were straight. I don't know what it was. Straight something.
A flush is when they're the same suit, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
And then straight as a
And
woman.
amazing. The first hand, I had a straight flush, and I was like, reading
I won.
and the two guys that know how to play didn't even really look at my hand, and they're like, "Oh well, Pero, this beats a." And I was like, "Wait," and like they're because it had to be a split pot, and they're divvying up the money, and I'm like, looking at my cards.
You pulled out your phone and looked it up. It's like, no, you guys are lying.
And I was like, "Give me the money,"
And then you left.
Right, and I'm out.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm bad at poker.
Some 40 years ago, when we were first married, we were playing poker and called my mom at like 11:30 at night because she was really good at cards, and I was like, "Mom, what beats is it? What's higher, three of a kind or a flush?" She says, "You're playing strip poker, aren't you?"
Yeah, we got to know. Nobody's fixing to lose their underwear. We have to see who it is.
What do you mean, Mom? It's 11:30 at night. Why would you be calling me if you're not playing strip poker? It's like, okay, well, you didn't answer my question.
Moms know all and see all.
So, Mother, you can judge me later, but the rules need adjudicating.
That's right.
Ow.
So did you win, or did you Woo.
That's 40 years ago.
Oh.
Remember? We were newlyweds.
Oh, okay. Anyway, all right, got you.
Exciting.
It didn't take much back then. Yes.
Right now.
That's next week's stream. We can talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah, the euchre is big around here. I don't know. And I say that, and I played it 25 years ago, and it was mostly because my wife, then girlfriend, wanted to be on a team, and you sit across from each other, and so I could look at her the whole time. And I don't remember
your
reason.
wife and then your girlfriend wanted to be
then
on
girlfriend.
That was so
Now
cool.
wife.
Like king, your wife and then girlfriend. Okay.
Wife and girlfriend, y'all were all playing cards together.
It's nice they got along. You get along so well.
Great setup. It's great.
They want to be on the same team and everything, dude.
A little poly action there.
Yeah, exactly.
My now wife.
Did you win?
And girlfriend. Yes, she could probably tell me how to play euchre. Still, I don't know.
It just sounds like referencing the D&D monster.
What?
The euchre.
Yes. I think for those of you who are linguists out there, it has some sort of origin of the same word as joker, I think, and it's a Europe like Eastern European or something, or
just Joker with a hard Scandinavian accent.
Yeah, euchre, yeah, or some sort of weird Upper Peninsula, Minnesota. I don't know.
Euchre. Yeah, sure.
If you're a Finn living in Minnesota, you have no chance.
Oh yeah. By the way, I live in Wisconsin. I'm up by the UP.
About the same, yeah. So that's pretty much my contribution to the card conversation, everybody. So someone take it away.
All right. When I was a kid, all we played was War and Old Maid.
Yeah.
Because those were the simplest things.
Yeah.
And then my brother would get mad and he would just take the deck and he'd go like this.
He wanted to play 52 card pickup.
Yeah.
I have I don't know if anyone else is a family like as mine, where every get together they always have to play rummy. Well, it's always like once a year, so I forget it by the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what game I hate? You ever played Rook? That
So-
right, I can't remember how exactly you play it, but it has to do with a lot of lying.
Okay.
Man, that game made me so mad. Just people would make you think they have something. They even tell you something, and then I don't know. Nobody's played Rook? I feel alone now.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't have something to do with a bird on the cover
Yeah, a
box.
rook.
Okay, yeah. That's really all
That's
I know.
not helping me, Brett.
Yeah.
A bird was somewhat involved, yes.
There's a-
Basically, diamonds and gin rummy.
Yeah.
It's basic, and poker. That's about all I know.
My grandparents and my great aunt would play a game called Hand and Foot, and it requires multiple decks of cards. And they would sit at our family reunions. It requires 4, so they'd always have one other person join them, and they'd sit there for hours. And the game was always just I never wanted to know because I didn't want I feel bad now, but I didn't want to sit down with my grandparents for hours and play this game where they're just passing cards around. I don't know, maybe it wasn't a real game, but way out there, Hand and Foot. But so there's 1 year. So this would tell you what I was doing and not playing cards. We were having a water balloon fight where we were on the roof of the cabins and we had squirt guns and we were running in and out of cabins and it was mayhem. And my grandparents, it was almost like, there was this war going on around them and they were just sitting there at the table playing this card game. And I came running into the cabin and I slammed the door behind me. And immediately the door flies open and another cousin comes right behind me and he had filled up a bucket with gallon or 2 of water, and I had just veered off to the right as he threw the bucket, and it hit my grandparents and my great aunt and all the cards, and it was hilariously comical, but we could not laugh at what had just happened because the cards went flying, like their hair was like whoosh, and nope. we all stopped, cleaned up the cards, mopped up the water. And that was an infamous Hand and Foot game, yes, that was ruined by the water balloon fight.
So, yeah.
So-
Not getting too deep into trading card games yet, but one of the most recent family gatherings where they're playing Rummy. One of our younger nephews, cousins, one of them,
Yeah.
one of the family members that doesn't really feel like a family member,
Right.
found out that me and a bunch of my cousins all played Magic the Gathering. So they wanted to play that instead. So we just snuck them up to the garage, pulled out the card table, and we're teaching them how to do that. And then eventually one of the older family members, I think it was my aunt or great aunt, came and was like, "What are you guys doing? Are you summoning something?"
Yeah.
They were raised in the 80s, the Satanic Panic. And without skipping a beat, my cousin Tarek slams his cards down, turns to her, and says, "Yes, fun." We're summoning fun, Mom.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, my grandparents were very Baptist. So yes, the card games.
Were you even allowed to have the traditional cards in your house, or?
I don't know about my mom growing up, but me growing up, we didn't have a lot of it either. So I don't know if that was a holdover from my grandparents, but yeah, I didn't get a lot of card games. We played a lot of board games.
Right.
But,
Oh, you mean just like playing card, regular
Yeah.
card, not
because you're gambling. Tommy, that's a
cards like Magic the Gathering cards. You're talking about just bicycle cards.
Playing cards.
Yes.
1950s.
You mean cards with like just numbers?
Yes,
on them.
Exactly.
because playing a game is not work, and that's invitation for temptation.
See, I was raised in the 60s, so my mom belonged to a bridge club. Yes. And so like every Thursday we'd all go to somebody's house and they'd have, tea and the cookies, and we all had to play nicely while all the mothers were playing bridge.
Yeah.
And it was like so Ward Cleaver, it's just pathetic until one of the little girls got into my mom's purse and ate all her chocolate out of a purse, and Mom looks down and goes, "Oh dear." That
That
was-
wasn't chocolate.
No, it was X-Lax. Oh,
Oh!
Oh no.
That's when the party got really.
that's when the
That's right.
party got real.
That's when everybody had to go home.
Yeah,
Wow.
my wife has stories of not 1960s but 1980s. All her parents' friends too of being little and trying whatever grain alcohol was, with it, like when people weren't watching on the table. Let me try try that, because they were no one was paying attention to the kids.
No.
And she has a story of them playing adults playing Jenga and just laughing their heads off, and her being little and not realizing like they're all inebriated. This fun. It's just Jenga. but then she thought the game would be hilariously fun, and then it's not. I mean, it's fun, but it's not that fun.
That's yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, if you're doing like Texas Hold'em, that was my main normal card game. You have to have some level of inebriation to not be at each other's throats by like.
Yes. Yeah, that does help.
Yeah.
No, I think I mentioned it. We in college we would play the massively crazy 5-deck Uno
Yes.
tournaments that would last. One game would last 5-6 hours. It seems like, but we were drinking a little bit in the
You
dorm.
almost had to.
Yeah.
For that long.
But I think somebody posted something on our thing earlier on our group chat or whatever, where that one kid had like they were fixing to go Uno and the person had
Yeah.
4 or 5. Yeah, that's the way where you could play like 10 cards on somebody and they would have to, they thought they were going out and then they oh no, now they got 20 cards. So that's
How do you
made up the
hold
rules
all those? And how do you?
like this.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Giant Uno, where the cards
Yeah.
are like 8.5 by 11?
Yep.
That's, yeah.
Why?
When I was a kid, I didn't know Uno was. I knew that the Uno, existed, but you remember when Mad Magazine had their own version of Uno cards? You remember those cards? It had the. It was just Mad Magazine. It was Uno, but it was Mad Magazine characters and stuff on there. But that was some of my. But playing spades and clubs and all that kind of stuff. That's what my family pretty much did. We never played. Poker and all that kind of stuff. That's why I suck at poker, because I just don't know what the stupid hands mean.
I think I have a special card deck that's like comic related. I think I still have. I'm gonna go grab it.
Yeah, that's basically Uno with other characters and stuff on it. Yeah, had like Alfred E. Newman on them and all that kind of stuff. I didn't realize that was Uno. It was just rethemed.
Guys, have ever done any online card games, online poker?
I've done a bit, yeah.
My son was huge into that for a while. He loved it.
Uno. I play Uno online. I like Uno. I found was our.
Of course, his
The only connection I have with poker is my wife got really big into online poker, and she was playing it a lot. And when she would play it while I was doing something else, and then suddenly it hit me like a thunderbolt. And I look at her and I'm like, "You play video games more than I do." She says, "No, that's not true. That's not true at all. No, it's not a video game." And I'm like, "What do you mean it's not a video game? You play it on a screen and it's a game." And she's like, "No, it's not the same." And I'm like, "You're a gamer. You play more than me." And that's when I knew I had won. It happened 3 times in almost 25 years. So I remember that day as well.
Check that one out.
That's right.
Yeah, we had a similar way back. Remember like Farm Town and all those.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. My wife, same thing. Had a moment. I was like, you play more than I do. What? Because that's when you would get like neighbors. So you'd have to have she'd have her mom and her sister. Like they would make their farms better. But,
yeah.
Is that still a thing? Like those type of games, Farmville and Farm Town, and
I would imagine to some extent, but maybe not as in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
But it's a weird thing where like everyone went from we would be the guys would be guild masters, and like you'd have your Friday nights, like we'd raid on WoW or whatever, and then you'd see the guys next week. and all of a sudden all of our like moms and girlfriends were managing these farm communities and communes. It's like I managed 25 nerds and eventually get them online at the same time. You're running a full-on like agricultural revolution right now.
Yeah. Got to harvest the corn. You got to shear the sheep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Haley, you found it. You looked.
Yeah, I have these. They're just regular playing cards, but they're peanuts themed. So they've got-
Very nice. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Those are cool.
yeah, like it's comic related.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. And then I also found well, I was looking for them. I also found waterproof Uno H2O. So they're like you can play them in the water. I don't know why you would.
Huh.
but
Do they float? What do they sneak to the
I-
bottom of the pool? You gotta
no.
swim down there.
You're
and
like really bored in the bathtub, play Uno
Oh.
with yourself. I don't know.
Yeah.
I should have thought about it. I got a cool Cthulhu set by illustrated by Nat Iwata.
Yeah.
He did some cool
That would be cool.
illustrations.
Why hasn't there been a Highlander version of Uno? It just seems natural because there can be only one.
There's a good be one, and then you kill everybody. That'd be great.
Oh boy.
That was good.
Wah, wah, wah.
With Uno, you can't be one. You got to go out at one. So
Well, supposedly, with the second Trump's book, we're gonna have a real deck of cards printed up.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's gonna be kind of cool.
That'll be really cool with like the characters on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be rad.
That'll be neat.
We've been working on them a little bit, the past couple of months, just knocking out a card here and there, trying to get it all together. I think Roland's talking about sending it to the bicycle club. Bicycle, the people that actually print, that make the cards, they'll print your own custom cards on the same, paper and all that kind of stuff. I mean, kablam, we can print trading cards this side, but this, I think we've talked about it before. This is a different kind of paper,
right,
than just cardstock. So, I mean, we could print a deck of cards, but after you shuffle it once or twice, it's going to fall apart. These are cold pressed paper,
Coated.
and coated, and all that kind of good stuff. But I think we're going to get some printed from Bicycle. I think we're going to do like a limited run of 100. I think so. That'll be one of the rewards for that whenever we get that far. So that'll be cool.
I love it. So why don't we're coming up close to the midway mark. I don't want to cut to the review just yet, but why don't we can transition into other trading card games. I think when was it the board game talk or but I brought up, has anyone else played Killer Bunnies?
I have not.
Nobody. It's been around for a while, and it's one of those kind of like deck building games. And I would put it in the card game category, I think.
Yeah, well, there's to your point, Scott. There's in TCG or trading card game land. There's what's called a traditional trading card game or TTCG, and then there's a live trading card game, which essentially means that the box itself is all that's live in the set. So that's things like Killer Bunnies or the game Legendary, which is started as the Marvel-based deck building game.
Okay.
Essentially, that's all the cards that you're going to need for the game are included in the box set, and they might release another box set later on, but you're not getting periodical content releases like with Magic the Gathering or Pokemon.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So it's Killer Bunnies has been. I mean, we've had it for probably more than a decade, but I like the dynamic because you have 7 cards. We have 5 in your hand. You have 2 down, and those are set. It's called your run. So you're always planning 2 rounds ahead. So you think you have a great plan, but when it goes around twice, your card could be null. It could be useless. It could not have the effect that you planned on. The game has a lot of variation. You can't really plan really well, which makes it very frustrating, but a lot of fun because as much strategy as you think you have, it usually is just blown out of the water by someone else's silliness or their you don't know what's going to happen. So, but they released many expansion decks. I think we bought 3 of them, but there's our stack of cards on the table would be 8 inches high. Because you go through a ton of cards, but we would never get through the whole pile. I can't imagine with all the expansions. I don't know how it worked, but Killer Bunnies definitely was a fun game, and I still see it at the. We've got a pretty cool board game store, role playing and all that in Rochester, and they've got all the expansions, and I still see it out there. But that's been a fun one, and got to limit it to like 6 people because it does take a while sometimes, and if people at the other end of the table aren't paying attention, it's the game just becomes unmanageable. And so 6 people or so Killer Bunnies is a fun one.
Sounds like the inspiration for Happy Tree Friends.
And the social medias, Roland says that his family plays hand and foot.
Oh,
so
okay,
there you go. And Dempsey Blackman asks, he says hello to everyone. He asked, what's everyone's favorite card game? And he stated that growing up he played Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite card game currently is probably Magic the Gathering, seeing as how I do it at tournaments and have had a group going for a while now.
So you still play now?
I do, and there's the way that their competitive league is broken up is really interesting, in that I am considered a competitive player and have a worldwide ranking, even though I'm not the greatest.
Wow, worldwide! Wow.
Anyone who goes to official sanctioned events so many times is given a tracking number, and then that carries over. And after you've done so much, you're put into the database of people who are considered all within the same bracket or whatever. So at some point, that's the path you'd progress to go being a professional player. But nowhere in my future.
There are. I'm sorry. This should not surprise me, but there are professional Magic players.
Yes, and they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the official WizardCon, like Wizards who puts out Magic Gathering and D&D, where they put out all their live stuff. They'll have their big annual tournament there, but then also different regionals. You'll have your regional tournaments, your state tournaments, and your province tournaments. So I've played in same area and Greater Oregon area, but I haven't gone to like Northwest Regional or anything. And then once you get to the regional points, that's when you can start getting you can get cash or rewards at any level. I, in theory, have been compensated for playing Magic.
You've been a professional player. Yes.
But at the higher ends is more where you're going to see it, because it's like many other of the niche competition things where there's not a lot of money into it until you're at like the big annuals.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that doesn't break out to a big bloodbath.
Right.
Considering you go to one of those card shops and somebody pulls out the wrong card, that it's illegal to play.
Yep. Well, that's we actually won a pre-release weekend. So, like I had in their conversation earlier, a TCG will have periodical releases of new content to inject into the game, and old stuff will be phased out. And the weekend before that new stuff comes out, they'll do a pre-release weekend. So if you go to play in the tournament, you get access to all the cards a week early, and you build from the stuff you buy there. If you're doing a bunch of different formats, but essentially that's the gist of it. And there was one group, and you can do so many things each day at different shops. So the entire weekend, there's about 3 things a day at each shop independently. And then also, nothing really goes beyond shops at that point. One group had been playing all weekend before the Saturday we got there. We got there for the last event on Saturday. And in the format we're playing, you could only use so many of cards that had a legendary tag on it. So if it had a legendary keyword, you only have so many of them. And those cards are also extremely rare to get in the limited supply that you got, it being the first weekend and all. They had beyond the maximum amount of those legendary cards, this is the name. So we knew that they had in some way cheated the system to bring cards they weren't supposed to get, and then also built a deck that's illegal on top of that.
Yeah.
So my partner, we're doing a co-op game. My partner's like, "Oh man, you got like 4 of those? That's wild." And we're like, "Oh, tell you what, we gotta go. We'll let the ref know you guys won, and about it." Because if they had actually been reported, they would have been banned from the shop, and they would have had a marker put on their Wizards account. So we ended them solid in not reporting them, but we ended up winning the prize pool.
Is that not something that's checked beforehand? How can they not?
So in theory, there are going to be refs, so the way the format works, it's called sealed. Because all the cards you're playing with are sealed beforehand, and then you open them up and you build your deck from the cards you get at that time. So you have an hour to build your deck, and then like 5 hours of the actual tournament. However, if you bring a backpack in, you can usually get those by without them being checked, depending on how up and up your shop is. Our shop is pretty good, so if you're going into like the tournament area during a tournament weekend, they'll be like, they'll have people in the back watching as you're building.
Yeah,
but it's still possible.
Gotcha.
So we had figured that they had probably gone to one of the corner tables or something and managed to slide some stuff in there. So
I mean, they were using magic.
They were using magic, using sleight of hand.
They were
palming. Just like you, Tommy.
Yeah. I never really got into Magic. My wife was a big player. She made me make a deck.
Nice.
She made you.
But what's funny is, and now going to laugh at me, and Scott's going to love this. But what we did get into for a while, there was actually a Harry Potter trading card.
Oh yeah.
Game. Mm-hmm. And you were a wizard and you powered up spells. It worked just like Magic, except simpler. I'm good for simpler stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they ended up discontinuing it. We were so upset. Yeah. We found it at a Dollar Tree one day.
Nice.
Just the whole. It was actually supposed to be the packs of cards that were $1, but the whole thing, they had the whole thing packaged up, so we got the whole thing for $1. Are you sure this is right? Sure.
They were like, just take it. We don't want
take
it.
Take it. Trust me, you need it more than we do.
There is a episode of Adventure Time.
Oh yes,
they have a game. Is it called Card Wars?
Card Wars, yeah.
It's 11 minutes, folks. If you can watch that episode, Card Wars, it's hilarious. When he's explaining the rules of the game, it's like 4 hours later. He's still.
There's a couple of them because there's one where he went to a tournament with his daughter.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
My kids have watched every season multiple times. And I'm up to like season 4 where I've seen pretty consistently, but
my kids have watched it.
Yeah. So Adventure Time is one of those weird things where it's a great kid show, but then also it is just the writers had written their D&D game group and all their interactions within a show. So if your group has like a nerdier parent, or if you're just a nerd, you're just like, oh, I understand everything they're talking about right now.
Yep. There's a line my son will say. There's a line where the two heroes, Jake and Finn, he's trying to convince Jake to lose the battle because these little guys need to win. He says, "What? And ruin my stats?" I love it. It's so well written. Adventure Time is just gold. If you're a kid or you're D&D or any fantasy stuff, it's gold. Love it.
It is. I love it.
I know you were going to go on to the preview thing here, but when we get back, can you guys explain to me what the game Cards Against Humanity is? I've got a buddy that wants to play that, and she's bought 3 or 4 of the expansion parts of it, and so y'all can tell me about this game because
first tip for the game is try to involve your parents. Any elderly relatives. So that's the first tip.
The more conservative religious, the better.
Oh my god!
You got a pastor or get involved.
I want to hear about
That would
this
be
now
fun.
because I've never heard of this.
Oh really? Oh my
Yeah,
god!
no, she bought a set and then she's gone out and bought like 4 or 5 expansion sets to it.
Not safe for work. All right.
No.
It might not be safe for streaming.
Yeah.
Hey,
I actually, a different company made like a Christian version of it, and I actually have that, and it's all just like church jokes. So
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it's fun if you like.
When we come back,
Yeah.
explain it to me. I want to know what it's
Yeah,
about.
like Babylon Bee church jokes kill me.
Yes.
Yes.
I love
Yeah,
it.
basically, it's like it's got like memes and stuff. I think
Yeah.
it is like people that make memes made it, and they had a Kickstarter and like way over made their goal.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, there was what was that? There was one about there was a meme one. Is it the same people that make that meme? They're all cards with memes on them, and you've got to use a meme to
I
describe
think
a
I've heard of
phrase.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
what do you mean? That's
All these games that are like apples to apples.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you've played that, you can play these.
They're-
Exploding
games.
kittens and all those.
Yeah, there are a bunch of different like side companies that have made unlicensed versions of it. So, what do you meme is one that's became its own company.
Oh, that might be the one.
Yeah, but then one that just got picked up by the parent company is called Crabs Adjust Humidity.
Yes.
As a fan expansion, and then the company's like, "No, we like this. We're adding it."
Oh, and then they bought it and decided
I
to
love it.
make
Kind
it
of
part
like
of it.
Miss Pac-Man.
Hey, Brent and C, I don't know if you guys are bouncing at the midway point. Oh, look at this guy.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. We got an interloper. He is a welcome.
did he break into here? We got to cut him off. Cut him
Yeah.
off.
We don't know what's going to happen. He's a wild card.
Hi,
Hey,
Rob.
Cards.
Can you hear
Alright,
me?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, my pun. That pun was intentional.
Oh, gotta
ladies
cover your
and
ears.
gentlemen, welcome back to Silverline Wednesday Night Wham, hosted by Scott Wakefield.
Oh, hello. Just looking at my playing cards.
Oh, do you have any sevens?
Go fish.
Go
Go
fish.
go
Dang it!
go fish. Sorry. Yes, I
Oh,
did.
we're back on the show. Back on the show. Put the cards in. Put the cards in.
We're back. I did find my. How could I forget this? They were not just Cthulhu, but steampunk Cthulhu.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Yeah, like the two coolest things mashed together. Artwork by Nat Iwata, a very cool guy.
Ooh.
Who,
That's rad.
and he's got an image, a drawing of me in 20 years, I think. Pretty good.
Cool. Those are
He did some cool art, but Tommy was saying that we are Silverline. I say we, like I'm involved with that, but the artistic folks at Silverline are planning to do a deck of cards for the upcoming continuation of the Trumps story. So, if you haven't gathered, welcome back. We are talking about card games tonight, and that includes cards like with numbers and faces on them, and then trading card games like Pokemans and Yu-Gi-Ohs and cards card games that Tim said Killer Bunnies is a what kind of game?
A living card game. Everything is live inside the box.
It's alive.
It's
and
got live bunnies
Real
in
bunnies.
there.
Yes.
Real
Yeah.
killer bunnies.
Weird.
I won't
But,
open
yep.
it tonight.
All
on
the-
the
So if
show.
I
No
ordered
holes
it,
in that box. There can't be live. bunnies.
Exactly. Yeah. All the live content is contained in one box. You don't need to buy your monthly releases.
It's all right there. You can play
Oh,
everything
okay.
you need right there, and nothing changes unless you buy expansions when they come out. So that is the topic for tonight. But our second hour is going to be very busy. We can continue talking about card games, which I'm sure we will, because we barely got into the trading card world. But in mere minutes, we will be launching and going live with the next round of Kickstarter, the next Kickstarter campaign with the two titles, Twilight Grim #2 and Friar Rush #2, and we are joined right now by Rob and Aaron, and they're welcome to join the conversation. But in a few minutes, 20 minutes or so, we'll be getting some more surprise guests, and we will be talking about these titles. And you'll get some background information. And you, if you're out there watching, feel free to ask questions in the chat. And if you've got questions about the stories, about their storytelling, specifically about Twilight Grim and Friar Rush, go ahead and ask. So thanks, guys, for joining us. And as always, and I can say as always so far, Daytona Beach Comic Con has been supporting our live stream. So thank you to those folks out there. And if you're watching, go over to their Facebook page, go to the website, and make sure you check out the dates for their convention this fall. And follow, subscribe, all those things so you can get updates. So thank you for their support. And thank you to Martin Piero for your reviews. SilverlineComics.com is our website. You can go buy all of our titles there. That'll take you over to indieplanet.com. And you can read our craft blog. You can read input or blog entries and so on and so forth from all of our
words, letters,
words. You can read the words strung together in sentences that Tim puts together, and it's insight into our creation process, writing, arting, coloring, all those sorts of things.
And we just started some of our community interaction posts. So if you post a comment on any of our socials or any of our streams, at some point you may be featured, as we have with people like Cassisi, who is watching from Facebook.
Cassisi, you are like VIP fan. Thank you. So, folks, we are an independent publisher, and you are part of the Silverline world out there. So thank you for joining us. And if you haven't been following along for the past many months, Silverline has been launching 2 titles at a time, and that is because we have so many great stories. And if you see at the beginning of the show, all the titles that the folks here are involved with, those are everything. Those are coming. They're all in the works. They're all happening. And we have another show Sunday night as well. And there's Barb and Rob. Rob, are you on the Sunday show? I'm sorry, you're a regular there on and off.
I am not. I have a part-time job where I drive a bus for a local college.
Oh, okay.
And the athletic teams didn't have any games this last fall, so they're trying to jam them all in the spring. So I am driving every weekend from now up to April.
All right.
So sometimes I'm home in time to do the video cast, but a lot of times I'm just when I get home, So so at least for a while, I will probably not be able to make any of those, but I would like to come to some of those. And if as we're doing this Kickstarter, if I can, I'm going to try and make at least 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah.
So we can push that.
Yeah.
get past our goals.
Exactly. And Aaron's a regular over there. Aaron's been on the Wednesday show every once in a while. So thank you guys for joining us. And like I said, if you want to make a comment, ask these guys something about the titles, about their work, feel free to do that. And we can continue our card game conversation. Aaron and Rob, we've been talking a lot about just traditional cards like poker and how terrible we all are at poker. A little bit of pinochle, hand and foot, euchre, rook, gin and tonic. What's gin rummy? And
I'll take a gin and tonic.
A little bit of strip poker talk there. We don't want to talk too much about that so that we don't get kicked off the stream here.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, Barbara's kicked us off the stream numerous times.
Yes, I have.
Common denominator, Barb, to getting kicked off the stream.
What can I say?
She's famous for something.
Yeah, you didn't know Barb's R-rated? Yeah.
I can get away with it.
And on that
I'm old and I'm a grandmother. I can get away with anything.
That's true.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tommy needed us to explain Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, I would like to know. It's got a buddy that wants to start playing it. She ordered a bunch of the main game and then a bunch of, I'm guessing that there's supplemental decks or whatever you guys want to call it. All
it's
kind
basically
of different...
it's basically a card game with Tourette syndrome.
It's
what?
It is. It's a card game with Tourette syndrome. It is.
Same.
Perfect.
I've only played it once.
Do they have like a Zoom version of this game? Could we play it tonight?
Oh gosh.
No, we don't need to be live
That'll get
anymore.
us kicked off.
Oh,
Yeah.
that could be real problematic. If I
Yes.
Yeah.
from some of the
Okay,
cards.
well, I
I've
mean,
seen.
I want to get good at playing it, so that way I don't lose. Do you lose? Do you win? Is there
You do so.
bar?
Yes. So there is a judge each round, and they draw the black card, which is a prompt. All the players have a hand of white cards, which is their responses to fill in the blank or to answer a question. And then whoever the judge finds the funniest or the most appropriate, they give them the black card. Not appropriate, but fitting the question.
Appropriate for the game, yes.
Yes, fitting the prompt.
I'm trying to remember. I think when we played it, we rotated who was the judge.
Yeah, so every turn
Yeah.
every turn that changes around. So
Like
Yeah, you're
Right,
supposed
like
to.
it goes clockwise or counterclockwise,
Yes.
depending on what you decide to start. Yeah, that's a fun game.
yeah.
A lot of fun.
So you end up getting things like this is how the world ends, not with a bang, but with blank. And then you'll have responses referencing genitalia intimate acts and
What?
just the occasional
Yeah.
just random random
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I-
Tommy, that inviting the in-laws might not be the best decision.
Do they have
Yeah, and
like
if you're going to play it at
Depending
church,
on the in-laws.
Right.
Yes. I will say that my most proud victory of a round in that game was at a college party and supplying the only answer to a question that was not intimacy or booze related, but was instead a StarCraft prompt.
Wow.
Because I knew the judge and we were both playing
Yeah.
StarCraft. I'm like, here you go. This is just for you.
That works.
So everyone
You
else is like,
gotta
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait to the judge.
Exactly. Everyone was like, I don't know what this is, and they were dying. So it worked.
So like there's a lot of these like
Yeah.
arbitrary winner games.
Mhm.
The other one that some of my cousins and I played Super Fight. Have you played that?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my cousins calls it the shouting game
The-
because
yes.
everybody's the Super Fight is it's a fight and you have two cards that you combine, right? So you could get like Justin Bieber, who is 100 feet tall, and then it could be against a whale that can only turn left. So like. So how do they win? Like you could say, well, Justin Bieber can't go underwater, even though he's not too tall, but the whale can't leap, can only turn left, or like it has laser beam eyes, or a gun that fires kittens, or something like that. It's, but it's all it's arbitrary,
Yeah.
and I think that when everybody votes, I think, and then the winner moves on,
Yeah.
and they have their and you can add, it'll sometimes add more. Who can only speak in rhymes or something like that,
Yep.
But that one's much more family friendly.
Yeah. We get the stupidest superheroes you can think of fighting.
Yes,
But also,
That sounds fun.
in most groups, turns out fine match, but you know how pedantic some comic book readers can get. Like, well, I'm actually Superman. So you get to the point where you actually have a bunch of people dissecting what the nuances of this fight would be.
Right. Right.
Like, what's the 6-issue arc of this whale that can only turn left?
What's his motivation?
Yeah.
What is his backstory? Yeah. But that one's called Super Fight. That one that was a good one. We had a family reunion and a married in cousin. It's the first time he'd been to our reunion, and we're pretty conservative family, and he got so mad and he slammed his hand
And he left.
a GD, and it was pretty funny. A couple of my aunts because he was so mad at this game, the shouting game, the Super Fight. But it's a great moment in family history where the marriage, this is like day 2 meeting our family, and he just lost his mind over
Nice.
Super Fight.
Yeah, it's called a card game of absurd arguments.
Yep.
Is what it is,
Yeah,
huh?
and he got so mad.
I'm putting that in my shopping cart right now.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, the two cards combining thing reminds me of a game that I play with my friends called Snake Oil.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yep.
So it's like apples to apples, but you put two cards together and make up an invention. So like the judge will be like a grave robber or like a teacher or a sorority girl, and then you have to make up an invention with two of the cards in your hand that and the fun part is like you make like a pitch. So it'll go like full like infomercial about it. Like I just googled some examples of like two card combinations. Like there's murder toilet, sky costume,
right,
blood grenade, I think that's it. Hope socks, like, and then you try to make it like, and I think like one time I looked out and like the person was a zombie or something and I had brain or something, so I could make like so but yeah, so that one's a lot of fun too.
We like that one too. My kids like that one as well.
Yeah.
Gets pretty silly with those. Before we run out of time, let's get into like Magic. We talked about that a bit. Pokemon. I tried to play Yu-Gi-Oh like 20 years ago to be hip and cool with the kids.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I think they beat him up and took his cards.
Exactly. I tried. I failed. I've never been cool. So I've just never been able to. I've never gotten into those games. Like the commitment I've never been able to just do it.
Collectible card games like that never appealed to me either.
I like collecting them, but then I never wanted to actually play the game.
Sure.
I had like a whole binder of Pokemon cards,
Right.
and I had some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. My brother was more into that than me, but he
The-
had like the dual disc, if you know what that is.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And it, like, yeah.
Yep. I have a friend who doesn't play Pokemon but does the collecting and flipping of the cards that are like worth a lot of money. So that's
what my son used to do with his Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah.
And now he's doing it with stocks.
Yep.
I can teach you
graduated.
And he's actually making a little money.
Yep.
So
I mean, I play Magic and I like comics. The whole reason you just get into it is because the art is cool. And then and then once you get into it, you realize you're too far gone and there's no getting out.
It's a swamp or it's a quicksand.
Yeah.
Sucks you in, you can't get back out again.
Well, I'm always amazed sometimes. Like you'll see those cards. The art's amazing. Like Dominion. I like Dominion a lot.
Oh yeah.
And then you'll get this one card where it's like they're like, oh crap, we need an artist, and they're like they hire a 4-year-old girl. Like the card is like, who drew this? It's this horrible piece of art. Like everything's amazing, and then this one card, like how'd that
There's a lot of weird consistencies. Yeah.
In 20 years, that'll be the collectible one.
It will be.
Everyone wants to throw it away.
Yeah.
The goofy looking.
Yeah. What's really interesting is you'll get like misprints will be the ones that are super collectible, and that like a word is missing a letter that's on every other word. So because of that error, or what when Wizards got their partner in Japan, so half their art, they started doing special sets that are done by Japanese illustrators and packaged in Japan. So their cards have a different texture to them, they're packaged differently, and the art and everything is all different. So if you find those, they're worth typically a lot more than the American counterparts that are mass produced.
So wait, okay, so you play a lot of Magic, Tim. So I heard this rumor, and maybe you've heard it too. There was a story years and years ago that somebody won a Magic tournament by literally tearing up a very old rare card and scattering it on its opponent's card, and it's supposed to be whatever each piece of the card touched his opponent's card, it would kill him. It was like a one-time use card, and he destroyed it in doing this, but it won him the tournament or something like that. I heard this rumor of like there was a card that actually did this. Now I have no idea if this is true or not, but I heard this.
Yeah, I don't think that's
So
an
the card
actual
really had magic powers?
Right? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Say the incantation.
Yeah, I don't think that's an actual card or thing that happened. I do know there are some insane stories where there used to be a bunch of cards that were very gimmicky like that though, where you would essentially pause the game, play a smaller game of Magic the Gathering, and then go back to the main game, and whoever won that comes in with like an extra turn and 10 extra floating resources to use for doing stuff.
Wow.
Interesting.
Or,
Wow.
but there was one where I think it was an Ob Nixilis card. Who Ob Nixilis is a big bad demon in the Magic lore. Where you flip a coin and heads or tails it does something, and I believe he managed to chain tails enough that he won. That was
Maybe
the thing that
that's,
actually.
maybe that's
Yeah.
where the story came from.
Yeah.
I remember hearing this story. It was like some card that you would do this, and no one would do it because you would destroy the card, but he did it. And it was I heard like you scattered onto opponent's card, and whatever the pieces touched, like it did damage or whatever. I don't know.
So you
I mean, it
have
sounds like
like
an
a card
interesting
that's
concept.
Right.
like a rock paper scissors card. You pull it out, and then you have to play rock paper scissors right in the middle of the.
There used to be apes actually, yeah. They used to be the Magic used to be very
And then you see
gimmicky
who-
before they're like, maybe we should actually just make the card game its own thing.
Or maybe you
Yeah.
punch the other guy. You have a punch fight, and whoever wins the actual fist fight wins the game.
No, that was senseless knife fight, not punch fight. You got the
Oh,
cards
okay.
wrong. God, Magic noob. Seriously.
I'm sorry.
Didn't you use dice in that too?
I think they used to.
For some things. You have your life tracker with the Magic logo on the front there. So you start with 20 life, and that's an easy way of just
That's
rolling down to track it.
That's a D20.
It's pretty much is, but yeah. If
little bitty
yeah.
die.
Oh, the little baby.
Oh, wait, one, yeah. And you also have small dice, which some people use to keep track of adding counters or bonuses to their own cards. So you just put a dice on it for easy tracking instead of keeping a running notepad. However, in tournaments, it's recommended you keep a notepad because if the dice ever get adjusted, whatever value is facing up that the ref sees, that's the legal value.
Oh.
So there have been moments where someone has actually knocked the table and rolled
Oh.
someone's health down by 10 points. The ref comes by, sees it, and they're marked down at being 10 health lower.
No, video it. Video the whole game while you're playing. Look.
Yeah.
It was an 18.
So that's why a lot of people now offer running pads, and the dice only really get used in your home settings.
Did any of you guys ever play Epic Spell Wars?
Yes.
Yes.
That's super fun.
Okay, yeah, that's the one that we played a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun. I think they have a bunch of expansions out for that now too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like Battle at Castle McKill or something like that.
Yeah, something. It was, and then it got more like adult. The artwork looked like Adventure Time artwork.
Yeah, it's essentially someone. It's kind of like a deck building game, but everyone's a wizard building a spell that's 3 parts of an incantation to try and kill each other to become the supreme wizard. But it's all the art and everything is based off of like 80s hair metal style stuff. So it's just the most absurd spell names and art you can get. Just guys with like their eyes being gouged out.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I did play a game years ago, and I still play it with my nephew called Eye of Judgment. I don't know if any of you guys ever. It was a PlayStation. I think it was it 3? I think it was PlayStation 3. But it was like the cards would actually be scanned by a camera and they come to life on the screen.
Oh wow!
It was like they had this sort of like mat that the camera would scan, and you put the cards down. It was pretty. I mean, you got it working pretty decently. But the game did most of the work for you. So it was supposed to be a deck building game, and but we never built our own decks. We just gave each other random cards and just went for it. But they pretty much ruined it because everyone figured out you can just download the cards off the internet and scan them. So no one bought the cards, and you completely destroyed the game.
Well, that's the.
But it was a cool concept.
That's like that one game. I forgot what it was called, but But instead you get like a little, like mobile scanner thing. You would scan barcodes of products, and it'd give you a thing. But then quickly, a bunch of like production unions got to like, you guys can't do this. There's.
Yeah. That was the same sort. I don't know if it was a barcode or whatever. I mean, I have like I still have all the stuff for the game. My nephew every once in a while will still play it. But it's cool because they'll actually like you'll see the cards on the screen, and then you can actually see your characters rise out of the cards and then animate. And so it seems like the board kind of comes alive or whatever.
Yeah.
And then of course if you attack, it switches to the screen where they actually do attack animations. Like when they do spells, this guy is like this huge head of this wizard comes out of the whole board and like says the spell name, and then like all hell breaks loose.
Nice.
It's pretty trippy.
Cool.
It was it was definitely a really cool concept, and I saw people who made an entire like wood boards and stuff with cameras, like permanent things and stuff, and people really got into it. But they killed it by figuring out how to pirate the cards. So I'm like, okay, I think it was that.
So we're going to start wrapping this conversation up because we've got more to talk about that's not card games. But what has been it seems like, in my limited knowledge, Magic has been the game that has stood the test of time, because that has been around since
96,
early
98.
90s.
Yeah.
It went to alpha like in 92, but they officially like printed in 98 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I think Magic and Pokemon hold the record, and Yu-Gi-Oh's coming up behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, because I don't know, Pokemon is still, like, people are still playing it. I'm probably not the level they were, but it still has a following.
Yeah, it's still yeah. I haven't seen any Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, but at the shops that I play at, we have our Magic Nights, and then Pokemon is just as big. Definitely a younger audience, but they definitely have just as many events. It feels like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there was like some regional Pokemon tournament in Daytona Beach near me. And I went to it, like, they were taking donations for like some kind of charity raffle. So I had some Pokemon drawings that I donated. So I got to go there and I saw it, and there's like a bunch of people playing the game, and then there's tables of people playing the cards, and it was cool. That's definitely a thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not part of that world, so I'm pretty clueless. But that's cool. I like that. I like that people play that. I mean, it's creative. It's fun. I mean, just seeing like same thing with Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I was at Walmart, and it's there on the shelf at Walmart. The summer kit, and
if you get your kids spending all their time playing D&D and spending all their money on Magic cards, they have no money for drugs and no time to get into trouble.
They won't leave the house, and they won't.
What would blow my mind is I go to these conventions, and then there would be a room or two set aside for the gamers and stuff like that.
Right.
And I kept thinking, they're spending all day at this convention in these rooms playing cards, and they're not getting out and experiencing the convention.
Yeah. I know
they'd spend all this money to get into the convention and then just sit there all day long.
I know some of those conventions are the money pots, so Magic tournaments. So you have a chance of actually like making your quarter's income if you win those.
Yeah.
But I know for
there's money there.
Yeah, for D&D, for some of those events, I've actually been recently kind of offered a foothold to that. Is you have professional dungeon masters, and these are like so you have people who have either wrote comics or have voice acted in cartoons or done any combination of things, will run a game for people to like pay to come play with them. So
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so I can't remember the most recent one, but I think someone who worked on I think Aaron knows the name of this. Battle Chasers. I think
Joe Mad.
Yeah,
I can never say his last name.
I know. But I believe is either them or one of the actors in the game adaptation of that recently started doing that, running games at conventions.
Oh. That makes sense.
I think it's one of the voice
they're
actors.
bringing the Battle Chasers comic back.
Yes, yeah.
I can't, but like with issue 10, it's been how many years? 15?
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah. So I was like, when I heard, and he's actually just picking up at issue 10 where he left off. I'm like, okay. So talk about. So I was thinking, like, does that win hands down for the most delayed comic issue in existence?
15 years between.
I think it's like 15. I'd have to look up and see when the last one came out. Oh. But yeah, instead of restarting, he's just like, no, this is issue 10. And I'm like, wow, finally. Like that guy at the store. Oh, thank God, I've been waiting years for this. But I was amazed. I'm like, well, you win that award.
We go in every Thursday and ask for.
Did it come out?
No, only 20 more years to issue 11, so I can find out how it all ends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting down. We gotta introduce. We got a guest here on the phone. Say hello. You there, sir, on the phone?
I am here, yes.
All right.
I thought I saw RA's phone
Hi,
icon pop up.
Hi.
All right, we've
Hey.
got Barb, we've got Aaron, we've got Rob, and tonight is a big night for you guys. Also, I'm supposed to introduce you R.A. Jones as a award-winning recipient of the Independent Creator Award for Best New Series of 2020. That title is Divinity. So congratulations. I don't know if you know about that.
This is the first I've heard of that.
All right.
I know. Isn't it
and I
great?
saw it online. I
Oh,
saw it online
wow.
somewhere. Yeah.
So
Pretty cool.
yeah, everybody out there, yeah.
Do I get a plaque?
Something like that. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you the award is in the mail. I think they send you a large statuette.
Yeah.
I believe.
I can put it next to my Emmys and Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Movie Oscar aside.
It's made out of fun dip though, so it's not going to last very long.
Isn't that awesome, RA? We did it. We did a
Yeah,
great
good
job.
job.
That is.
Congratulations.
Well, and there you go. It only took us 25 years to collaborate on something, but it paid.
I know.
off.
I know.
Paid
And
off.
I'm 3 pages away from finishing issue 2. So just letting you know.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so the story will continue, but the story continues tonight for Twilight Grimm #2 and Friar Rush #2. So, real quickly, how about who wants to give a quick synopsis and maybe like what happened in #1 briefly, and what a little tease of #2. Who wants to start? Let's start with Twilight Grimm. So, who would like to talk about that?
Let the writer RA talk about that.
All right, go quick, real quickly. Yep, tell us what happened. Just a brief synopsis of #1, and then what they might see in #2.
All right. Twilight Grimm is both the title of the book and the name of the lead character. It's a modern day vampire story set in a city that has built a wall separating the two parts of the city. On one side of the wall, it's totally human. The middle and upper classes humans live there. On the other side of the wall, you have the lower classes, the transients, the homeless, the helpless, and the vampires. And about the only thing standing between the vampires and the humans on that side of the wall, which is called the Blood Zone, is the young man named Twilight Grimm. And the first issue introduced him and some of the other main characters, and a little background on what the situation is in the city, and ended with him basically learning that there may be elements among the vampires who are going to attempt to restart the old war against the humans on the other side of the wall.
Excellent. And so that's like the cliffhanger that launches us into #2. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
He receives this information from his one and only friend and ally among the vampires, a young vampire woman named Scarlet, who is sort of torn between her love for him and her love for blood. And we learn more about this plot as it unfolds. Learn more about the characters in the second issue. Also, it's not exactly an origin story, but it does take us back to the time when one of the other main characters, a priest named Father Sarah, first met Twilight Grimm as just a little boy, alone and on his own in the middle of this horrible blood zone.
Awesome. So the folks, the story continues with a really cool vampire, almost it's a gothic horror, but a modern gothic horror, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. In some ways you can look at it as imagine one of the Godfather films.
Yeah.
If all the mafioso were vampires.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's got action. I mean, if you head over here in just a few minutes, you'll be able to see it. I don't want to take you away from our stream here, but I'd love you to see the title. But we've got some, you can tell from the pictures, it's got action, it's got cool characters, it's got amazing art by Rob, and Rob still arts in the traditional style. Yes.
I do it on real paper,
right
Bristol.
there.
Yeah,
So-
and I've got for the Kickstarter that we're going to start this. We're actually going to sell some of the pages for that, and I grabbed those so that I could brag them up and maybe get people interested in.
Yeah. Give us a
But
quick.
that's the cover.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's based on a page from inside the book, so I included that in the Kickstarter pages. And then there was a hero page, a hero pose by the character Twilight Grim on this page.
Yeah.
Over here. And I thought that might garner some interest, so I included that. And then there's a 2-page spread, page, was it 4 and 5? And I thought, hey, it doesn't have the main characters in it, but it's a battle between the vampires and the police. 2-page spread, so I thought that might be of interest as well.
Yeah,
and I thought people would kind of like to see some of that. But yeah,
one thing about Rob's art too that I'll say that writers, of course, their skills only continuously grow until the day they die, but artists' talents sometimes diminish as they get older. But that hasn't happened with Rob. His art is good as it ever was, and
I have the painting over in the corner.
Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
The Dorian Gray painting is over in the corner.
Of Rob Davis. Anyway, that's one of the great things about working on this book. Again, it's kind of like when you have high school reunions or whatever. No matter how long it's been since you've seen some of the people, you just slip right back into the same relationship, same friendships, everything that you had 10, 20, 30 years ago. And that's how it's been. Of course, Rob and I have never been out of contact, but it's been a while since we worked on a comic book project together.
Yeah,
and it has been. It's been just as smooth and easy as if he and I had.
The only difference this
book.
time, the only difference this time is when we worked on Scimitar and Merlin back at Eternity, we worked Marvel style. He would write up a plot. He'd break things down by page. And then I'd go in and tell the story, and then he'd come back in and dialogue it. Since our collaboration was a little rusty, I said let's try full script, and it works pretty much the same way. I've still got enough freedom to move things around and tell things a little differently, but we just slipped. It was like an old glove, I just slipped it on and off.
And I've never had a problem with accepting that a good artist is 99 times out of 100 going to know more than I do about visualizing things. So I've tried to always be open and let any artist I work with know if you see or think of a better way to visualize this, by all means do it. You're not going to upset me or anything. And Rob, of course, knows that, and so he's still free to be as creative as he wants to be too.
Yeah, I sometimes move stuff around. You have to be, when you're working full script though, the one thing you have to keep in mind is where are the characters in the panel so that the balloons will fall properly.
Right.
That's your only concern at that point. But you can change the camera angle, you can change the action just a little bit. You can emphasize or de-emphasize the emotion of the scene or whatever, but you still have, there's still the throughput of the story that you have to stick with. I don't know if we've told the story of how Ari and I first started working together, but he had written a story of an empathic, essentially costumed heroine, and the first artist that he got on it didn't follow his script at all. He was allowed to change things, but he just changed everything. It wasn't RA script, and so they said, "Hey, Rob, can you come in and do the last? We're going to do it as a 4-issue miniseries. Can you come in and do the 3rd and 4th issue?" And I said, "Okay, cool." And I got the script and I went, "Oh, this is pretty cool stuff."
Yeah.
And with the 3rd issue,
in fact,
sales shot right up.
Actually, Scimitar initially was intended to simply be an ongoing series.
Right. Yep.
But yes, because of the mess ups and the miscommunications with those first two issues and the effect that it had on sales, the editorial decision was made to just this story arc wraps up in 4 issues anyway. So why don't we retroactively call it a miniseries? and then and that stuck. And so yeah, all together with mostly with Rob, but with other artists too. I wrote 28 issues of Scimitar, and all 28 issues come in the form of 7 4-issue miniseries.
Yeah.
So why don't we give we're going to give Aaron a moment here to say hello and tell us about Friar Rush. Same thing. Give us a little bit of synopsis of what's happened so far and a tease of number 2, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try. It's been a while since I've read it. I'm not the writer, so I am going to try to do this from memory. I do know the last time it's about a friar who is like he's from what I gather, I think he's supposed to be like a demon or a trickster demon that comes to like men of the cloth or some as his friar and tries to basically corrupt them. And it turns out this one Jake, I think his name was Jake, was the reporter who basically starts investigating some goings on. There's like a band, I think called the Bishops. I have to remember this metal band that the friar is part of, and he's this is big plan to corrupt more people. And Jake's a reporter investigating this, and he runs across a nun named Seraph, who's got a little bit of a mysterious back history, which you learn more about that in issue 2. And they're going out to try to stop the friar from basically corrupting the world. I think something like that. Yeah. So I remember I'm still writing my own stuff, so it's hard for me to remember all of this. It's been a while
since his deleterious machinations are vague, right?
Yeah. For right now they are.
World domination is it local domination,
Well,
but either way he's bad.
He's I don't know who studied their demonology recently, but the male form of a succubi, essentially, he gives into your vices. So he and our main character had aspirations of being a rock star. So by feeding into that,
Okay, that sounds interesting. I can't wait to get the flip book so I can read that.
It's very metal.
Wow,
it is.
Yeah. So number 2, that story continues, and we are going to learn more about. Yes, it is Jake, and Jake McGlover. I had to see his last name, and he's trying to find out what Friar Rush is indeed up to. And Aaron, let's see. You are. I'm scrolling. Sorry, everybody. Sorry.
I'm the penciler on it.
Penciler and John Martin's inking, Jeremy Kahn's coloring, and then Brian Dale is lettering that. So got a cool team. Got a neat. You got a neat style. Very dynamic. People. A lot of movement. I think that you do that really well with your art. I like that. So it's a cool theme, and this is number 2 out of 3, right? It's
3, there's 3 in this
series. Okay. Clicking again on the Kickstarter campaign here, folks, and I'm gonna announce right now that it is live.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Keep your window open and watch us. Don't you dare navigate away from this show.
I am sharing the Kickstarter window now.
But go over there. It is live, everybody, and you get to scroll through and see you see the little synopsi of the stories, and then all the extra goodies, all the stuff that Rob was talking about there. That is I just love it, and I say it every time because you get these one of a kind exclusive goodies, all these extras, You can buy the comic book, of course, which is great and amazing. That's what we want you to do. We want you to read the stories, but you get exclusive content and stuff. You know, when exclusive is exclusive, you get it. You get that artwork, or the variant covers and so forth, to really get to see the breadth of the art that folks have contributed, the other artists and their concepts. We've got commissions as well. We got cool retro versions of our covers with the old Silverline logo, and then really cool Rob Davis commissions, Aaron Humphries commissions, and then awesome original art that you can grab as well. And that's a lot of it. The stuff from Rob, Aaron. Let's see. We've got original art, penciled pages from Aaron as well. That you are going to get, and you'll get them in your hot little hands. So that is live right now. So we got our current campaign. It's all very exciting. The Silverline titles in the Silverline world keeps growing.
And
We're
it's
running
already
out of
getting
time,
pledges already.
Yeah. So
really, wow.
Yeah, sure. It's up to
Thank you.
$127 already.
And I will reiterate, folks out there, this is not speculation. These stories are done. They are ready. You are pre-ordering your comic books. So at the end of the campaign, and Roland and his crew have been fantastic about getting these out quick, within a couple weeks after the close of the campaign. Tommy just waits there with his finger ready to click print.
Ready to print.
Just to click print, and they start churning out.
We gave it to Roland. Picked up the books from the last Kickstarter. I think it was last Friday, and I think by Monday or Tuesday of the week after, they got them all out.
So you're not speculating, you're pre-ordering and you are supporting independent comic books and independent creators. And go through the list, scroll all the way down, and you get to see all the names, all the folks that have contributed variant covers and extra art, all the names that are involved on these titles. And Barb, where I was scrolling through today.
Over Peter Clinton.
Yes,
Twilight Rim.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, Peter Clinton penciled and Barb inked. Got lots of people involved with these titles, so it's really, really a fun thing. And I don't say it jokingly that we got a Silverline family here, and then you guys out there watching the shows, buying the comic books, spreading the word. You're part of the family, and we appreciate that. So I will.
One of the things that I've noticed, in fact, and I really don't mean this in a self-serving way, is that Roland Mann has done a terrific job of assembling not only an editorial team, but a team of freelance creative people that is very impressive, and they're doing some good work. And I think, I'm not making any predictions about anything in today's world, but the potential is there, I think, for Silverline to really become a big player. Among independent publishers in the comic field. So get in on the ground floor of it if you can. I don't think.
This is straight ahead storytelling. It's not any of this the crazy weird things that are going on now. This is this old fashioned good storytelling. Is what's going on here. So
and
absolutely,
exactly. Rob R.A. Yeah, thank you. The Silverline. Like I was saying I said earlier too, it's just been this exponential this rocket ship of creators and editors and all these people making stories and drawing and inking and coloring, and we've got so many cool things. And it's really, this is just the beginning of what Silverline has in store. And so grab these comics. You're going to get first editions. You're going to get original exclusive artwork, and you're going to be here. You're going to say, in a couple of years, you're going to say, hey, I got a Rob Davis original or an Aaron Humphries, and you were there. You helped us get started and just grow. So it's very, very exciting. We got to start wrapping up. I'm going to have everybody say goodnight and give us a quick update on how you can like and follow them. I always say, please remember to like, follow, subscribe us on Facebook, and follow our channel on YouTube. And we're on Instagram and where else am I? We're on LinkedIn as well. And who did I miss?
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok.
Yeah,
we're on TikTok.
We're just about everywhere. So go click the like, follow, subscribe, and you'll get all the updates.
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace.
Friendster.
AOL.
Copy
AOL. We're still on AOL.
Yeah.
We're there. So I'll start the goodbyes, and for I don't know if what everybody's custom is for your show. Wednesday nights we like to say goodnight and say how to follow us. I'm at Steam Patriots on Facebook and Instagram, and my name's Scott Wakefield. And my title should be coming sometime soon, and I'll pass it off. I'll go Barb, then Haley, then Tim, and so go ahead, Barb.
My name is Barb Kaelberg. That's the way it's spelled.
Perfect.
Kaalberg, and you can find me underneath that name on Twitter, DeviantArt, Instagram, and Facebook.
Perfect. Well done. Thank you. Haley, go for it.
Right. Well, I'm Haley Martin. You can find me on Instagram at Haley Martin Art. You can read my comic heroic shenanigans at heroicshenanigans.com, or you can just Google it. If you spell it wrong, you'll probably still find it because it's kind of a mouthful. And then, yeah, Bear should be coming sometime this year too.
Yes. Awesome. And then Tim, and then Tommy.
I am Tim TK, associate editor at Silverline. You can follow the Craft blog and all of our official updates at silverline.com. I'm also on all the social medias at Tim TK Writer, on TikTok as well at Tim Doesn't TikTok. And I'm also here on Twitch at TTV AgroBacon, where I stream Destiny and everything else like that. My book Wolf Hunter should also be coming out sometime later this year.
Yes. Awesome, Tommy. And then we'll go down Rob, Aaron, and RA. Tommy, go for it.
Just Google me. It's Thomas Florimonte, FLORIMONTE, and or just go to infernostudios.com, and that'll send you to where you need to go. If you really want to find me, you can find me.
We can find you.
You can find me. I'm everywhere. I'm on the corner panhandling for a change.
You can find
I'm everywhere.
Oh, that was you?
Yep.
That was me. That was me.
You can find him at the Publix on 53rd.
That's right.
Rob, exciting night for you. This is a good night.
Okay, well, I'm not on as many places as some of these other folks are. I spend my time at the drawing board, but
we can find you sitting behind your drawing board.
Right there. Right here, yes.
Right there.
I have my own web presence, though. I have my own website called robmdavis.com.
Right.
And it has links to some of the other stuff that I do. It has a link to a gallery page, which I need to update. I haven't done that for a while. I'm also the art director and chief cook and bottle washer for Airship 27 Productions.
Yep.
And you can see that at Airship. You can see our catalog at airship27hangar.com. And that's hangar like the airplane goes in, like an airship goes in. And I do a lot of work for them. That keeps me at this table as well. I'm also on Facebook. I also have a little publishing company called Redbud Studio Comics. It has a Facebook page. It has a web page which I link to from my main web page, and that's where I am. I'm not on DeviantArt or any of these other things, but I am doing at least that much.
Rob M. Davis.
M. Davis, because there's another Rob Davis. He's a British artist, and one time I got his check from Marvel.
Oh wow!
Was it a good one?
They told me, "Oh, just cash it."
Oh, that's nice.
I went, no. I sent it back to him. But yeah, so there's in some of the websites that list artists and what they've done. They've got our two. What we've done is all mixed together. I've tried to contact people to get that straightened out. But that's why mine is Rob M. as in Mother Davis.
As someone who's had to do an artist write-up on you, I've run into that issue. like
Yeah.
just trying to find your official credits. I'm like, oh, there's no way.
Yeah. Look for Rob M. Davis. Anybody that I try to get that corrected, I always put I figure, even though I was in the industry first, I figured I'm the one that's running into the problem here. I'll just say Rob M. Davis. Just make it that.
Is
So
the
that-
other
that
guy
clears it
is
up.
the other guy good? You know, just go ahead and take all the
He's
credit.
got-
Just more credit.
He's a British artist,
Well,
so
then-
he's got an odd, well, in my taste, it's kind of an odd style. You know, it's kind of a British style, but he's
What
a good
he's trying to say
storyteller.
is he doesn't want to take credit. That's what he's
right.
I didn't want his check, even though it was a nice check.
Aaron, and then RA. Why don't you say goodnight?
Yeah, you can find me on the Facebooks under my name, Aaron Humphreys, or Humphreys Illustration. And then Instagram at ALH3810. And then I post my own comic, Godlings, at Webtoons, which I am doing the cover for issue 10, and then I'm done. I always do the cover last when I make my comics. I don't know why, but I always do.
I do
And
the
then
same.
when the cover's done, then I'll be posting issue 10 again. And
Right.
then 2 more issues, and then I'm done with that series. And then I won't know what to do with myself, since it's been about 4 or 5 years working on this.
I'll send some pictures your way.
Yeah. If you guys, I know I have something going on with Silverline, but yeah, just start sending me stuff after I get it all done.
Thank you, sir. Exciting night for you, Aaron. Your art is live on Kickstarter, and RA, you as well, Mr. Part of the Independent Creator Award winner, Best New Series of 2020 with Divinity. RA Jones, live on Kickstarter right now as well. Say goodnight and how folks can follow and support you.
All right. Well, first off, let me say again, it's always fun getting to hang with you guys. I've enjoyed it. The name again is R.A. Jones, R.A. Jones. You can find me occasionally on Facebook and other places if you just want to learn a little more about me and what I'm doing and have done. Some shameless plugging here. You can actually find a listing for me on the Internet Movie Database.
Yes.
By virtue of the fact that I co-wrote a comic book series called The Bulletproof Monk that was turned into a movie. And I also wrote a couple of short comic stories that were adapted and made into episodes of a French television series called The Metal Hurlant Chronicles. And when I'm not busy writing comic books, I'm even busier in recent years writing novels. Rob mentioned Airship 27. You can check those out and see what I've done for them on Amazon. My latest book from them is Alice in Neverland. We're in the famous Alice steps through the looking glass one more time. Only this time, instead of popping out in Wonderland, she ends up in Neverland and has an adventure with Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. And then if you go to look on Westerntainment Publishing, they've been publishing a series of novels. I've written 3 so far and a 4th on the way, called the Steel Ring Saga, in which I tell stories set in World War II, but using Golden Age superheroes who were originally published by a company called Centaur, and I later then used in the series The Protectors for Malibu Comics back in the 1990s.
Fantastic. And there is no shame in shameless plugging. That's what we do here at the end.
Absolutely.
If we don't do it, nobody else will. So
that's right. If you don't blow your own horn, you can't expect anyone else to put their mouth on it.
I'm writing that down. That's a good one.
Okay.
I'm old. I can get away with saying things
That's
like that.
right.
Me too.
That white hair allows a lot.
Absolutely. It might be a lot of a lot of do-overs and aw.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all that have been here tonight, folks. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. So thank you for joining us. And as always, remember to make mine.
Silverline.
Silverline.
Silverline.